What's good, my people? We are finally back again for another reaction on this Brbptv. Be real, be positive television, brothers and sisters. I dropped a reaction previously on the Mr. Licks reaction, guys. That link will be in the first comment in the comment box below, guys. So definitely check that vibrations out right there. Let us get into the vibrations for today right there. Now, brothers and sisters, I haven't seen this video at all. I just saw that a number of persons were sending me this, and I actually had it in the queue for me to react to, so I'm gonna react to it right now, brothers and sisters. This is 9 minutes, so let us see if we can get into the most things of what she has to say right there.
Good afternoon. I am venting.
So somebody's venting, brother and sister. Mind you, copyright, sister.
I want to mess with my grandparents. These people are the love of my life.
Why? If you boil me?
Right now, I am peace. I'm just trying to keep calm.
So that's why you listen to the music at the back?
And focus, because I have my granddad.
Let me see if we can bring that up there.
To look after. I don't sing for my supper. I don't beg. And who know me, know me.
But why? Hopefully I don't get copyrighted for that music, guys. I might have to stop that thing very often, that I don't want to stop it.
My tongue sometimes can be very loose. But I am sorry to say.
What does the great book say about the tongue? The tongue is very sharp and deadly, brothers and sisters. It didn't say it in those words, but you get my point.
Dominica have one of the worst healthcare system
in the world,
in the Caribbean.
In the Caribbean, you're right, not the world, because they are worse than Dominica's. You can always say, "Oh, thank God, we're not the worst," but you can say it's the worst in the Caribbean. We have nice looking building, even though they're leaking, brothers and sisters, but at least we have nice looking building.
Yes, we have a state-of-the-art hospital. The hospital is beautiful.
Yeah, it look nice.
It is beautifully built.
Yes.
It is a nice
looking building. But what good does a nice looking building do for a population in need of medical attention? Absolutely nothing. If rain fall, hurricane come, we can probably go inside there. Use the hospital as a hurricane shelter, maybe. But then again, the hospital was leaking. I don't know if they fixed the problem, but the hospital was leaking. So if hurricane come, you might still get wet in the hospital.
When I first entered there, I thought I was in the UK, because the structure and the way things are set up is nice. But inside the building itself, the workers, most of them are rotten to the
Ella. So we have nice looking buildings, but the workers that are inside the building are rotten to the core. Not on the surface level, you know, brothers and sisters, rotten to the core. That means you've seen it outside, far less for inside.
Rotten to the core.
But like I always say, guys, I don't think it's necessarily the workers per se. I think it's what the workers have to deal with, and as a result of that, they are getting, thing. But regardless of that, professionalism must always maintain professionalism. But when you don't have professionalism at the head, that's what you expect.
You take on a profession and you're doing it for money, especially being in the health system, you won't do your job properly.
I agree. Most people who tend to join the healthcare system only join it because they want to make some money. They realize, hey, that is a good way of making money. So they really care of really taking care of the people. They just know that that is probably one of the best places you can actually go to work in the medical field. And once you're there and you're doing your thing and whatnot, you get a number of views, it's hard to fire you. Well,
because
and then again, even if you fire, you can then go out and practice your own thing, just for you to make more money again on it. So
there's no payment somebody can pay you to look after a sick person, to be doing the work the nurses and them doing in the hospital, and to do it wholeheartedly. There's no money that they can pay you to do it.
Well, it apparently does, because if I actually mentioned on my WhatsApp status some time back, I think it was about probably 2 days or a day ago, and I stated, how many of all you will actually go to work if your boss man say, hey guys, we don't have any more money in the business, but we'd like you to continue to work, would you go work? Some of all you, I know, at least 90, I'm not saying 100%, but at least 99% of all you would never show up again. I know a particular girl that actually happened to where jobs them were closed down because of whatever approval and whatnot, and they wanted some of them to continue working, and you know, they closed down in terms of they closed down the certain things that they were doing, and they wanted certain people to come to work, you know, for them to clear up certain things and whatnot before they finally end, you know, and then people. Hey, for sure, you don't paying me. What I coming? Anyways, yeah.
Love that profession. You have to love taking care of people, be it the elderly, be it a young person that's sick coming with an accident or whatever. You have to love doing it, because if you don't love doing it, it is stressful.
Well, that's true.
So
it can still be stressful, you know, but once you love doing it, you will do it.
Oh, my granddad was admitted at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital for an abscess in his left shoulder. And he stayed there for about 6 weeks.
Yeah, abscess in his shoulder, and he stayed there for 6 weeks. 6 weeks. But then some people go in there and say, yeah, problem inside, something hurting. They check in you and they say everything is okay, and they let you go home. Not BNT, you have to put on the apps. I don't know. I seen BNT, I don't know.
I live in Paybush, Portsmouth Paybush, and I try my best to go to the hospital every day as much as possible. Some days I would miss because I would either be too tired or I have something to do. I also work.
You look like you're working in a pharmacy, yeah? If that's a pharmacy, you know, I see Sokaramount up there. So that's probably Brum. Okay, never mind.
I have that response, my work plus my granddad. So I try my best to go every day or every other day. I make sure you have clean bed linen, clean clothes, pampers, anything he needs. It has been provided for him. Practically every day I go is a prescription. I buy it. It could be $5. It could be $1,000. We buy it. We provide it we provide it to them so that he can have it for him to get better.
Shouldn't the hospital have the medication? Or you have to provide the medication to them to give you? Maybe how I grew up. How I grew up, guys, we didn't used to pay for things like that, no? You go there, they give you something, take this, they put something in the back, and they put that in the back for you, and yeah, you roll out. Maybe it's a private, well, not private, the hospital she's talking about. So anyways.
I would go up there sometimes early morning, between 6 and 7, because as they're visiting time in the morning, I would... Sometimes I meet him bathed and well freshened up already.
That's
sometimes
good.
I don't. I don't make a problem. I fresh bathe him. I change his pampers and everything. So the lab between the last week before he was discharged, he was complaining about his back.
Of course.
So I checked, but there's not any bed sores.
That's good.
Anyway,
The hospital, they get better beds, man. Because there's actually beds that prevent you from getting bed sores. I mean, hopefully they did. At least. At least. Because I know one of the things that they have been complaining, especially elderly folks in the hospital, they are complaining of the beds irritating them. And there's a number of things that family members notice, that their family members are getting a lot of bed sores because they are not being turned. So, I mean, hopefully they get the bed. You know, they have first
the week go on, and the 17th of July, I went up early morning. They had already bathed him, so I just stayed with him for a while, make sure he's comfortable, take his dirty things, pack them, stayed with him for a little while because I had to come back down to go to work. And then I left. But after an hour and a half, I got a call from the hospital say that he's been discharged. So the nurse asked me if I drive. I say, yes, I drive, but I won't be able to carry my granddad down in the car because he cannot sit and he cannot lie down. So she tell me, yes, he can sit. So I'm asking her, when was the last time she put him to sit? Because when I got there and I put him to sit, 2 seconds, he's saying, oh, he put him back to lie down, his body hurting him. So I want to know when they put him to sit or when he sit by himself.
They probably just tell you that to come and get him. That's probably why. They really care. They tell you that to come and get him. But thank God he was taking care of your granddad to know. You know what's going on. So you tried, he couldn't sit up, but nurse come and call you and tell you, oh, he can sit, he can drive down, man. He can drive it, or he can stay 2 seconds up, you know. But he can drive a whole hour down Portsmouth or Paybush, wherever you go in, to bring granddaddy. Okay.
When he went to the hospital, from Portsmouth Hospital, he was sitting and he was walking. Because in Portsmouth Hospital, he was walking to the bathroom and bathe. But once he get to the hospital in Roseau,
of course. I mean, he moved from the smart hospital where he was walking and he was moving up and down, sitting up and what have you. And he moved to the first class, first world hospital. And they're going to discharge him, boy. And he was, well, that's probably a good thing to do. Because if in the first world hospital, and he getting worse. I mean, it only makes sense that they discharge him. So yes, I would understand. But I mean, that discharging him, he cannot sit up. You know.
They never make him walk. They never make him sit up. Nothing.
So in the hospital for 6 weeks, not exercising, just lying down there, stressing to even get up to sit up. He cannot do that because he'll be heavily in pain. And now they want to discharge him to go down hospital and go down Paybush from Roseau, from the first world-class hospital. Okay then.
So the nurse called me I tell her, well, he cannot go down in my car. She's telling me to call the fire station. I tell her it's not my duty to call the fire station, not me that discharge. My granddad is the one that discharge him, so call the fire station to see if an ambulance is available to take him down. So I made my way to Roseau, to the hospital. Is that
so, brothers and sisters? I'm a bit confused on that. If you are being discharged from the hospital, does the ambulance or the fire service have to is obligated? Well, then again, it's the people who pay for this thing. So it will make sense in an idealistic society that happens. You know, and in the United States, they tend to have private fire services and all these kind of things. That's a different story. But on the basis of having the public one, I think that should be okay. Where there's no fire, people paying the salaries and keeping the things, everything up. You meet every car, drop somebody down. Well, then again, if you have to do that for one person, you have to do it for everybody. But then again, the people are paying you. The people money that paying you. So it makes sense, eh? I don't know even if you have to put $100 gas or something, things are hard in the economy maybe, but I mean at the end of the day, the people are paying the fire service to do things for them. It's the servants of the people. So I don't know. What are your thoughts, guys? Maybe it's just me. What are your thoughts? Is the fire services and ambulance services for the people, or do the people have to pay these services to be used even though they are already paying them in taxes? What are your thoughts, guys?
I get there, I find they were tense, which I don't care, because at the end of the day, you're a hospital, you're discharging a patient that cannot walk, that cannot sit, or you're supposed to provide.
But, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Because the person came into the hospital walking, and then you're discharging them and they cannot sit up. So, yes, that would definitely make sense if you're discharging them, that the person left worse, which is the cause of you guys, not the person or not nobody else, but the cause of you guys. So, of not properly taking care of them right there. So, in that understanding, I would agree that yes, the fire service or the ambulance service needs to bring the person at the home if they're discharging them.
They should have transportation to take him home, even though we have to pay. That's not a problem, but it should be available.
I don't think the people should pay for that. Because the person came in walking and they leave in not walking, brothers and sisters. Therefore, if the person have to go in your car and they say, oh, maybe it's you driving on the road and that caused the person to get worse and they pass out or something, brothers and sisters, that shouldn't be. Because the person is worse than how they arrived in the hospital, in the first world hospital, brothers and sisters. Dominica China Friendship Hospital, first world hospital. So they should therefore take on the responsibility to ensure that you reach at your home safely, and maybe hopefully when you're at your home you can get better because the hospital don't do you good. 6 weeks, when she say 6 weeks. I mean, okay, well.
Then the ambulance is not available. Have an alternative, have some numbers we can call for private ambulance services.
Michael, yourself, you giving too much faith. You have too much faith in the system. Too much faith in the system. Your grandfather was walking when he reached hospital, living without he living and he cannot walk. And you think you good? They would have alternatives? Come on. I mean, come on.
To have in Dominica. Anyway, I call Red Cross. Red Cross say give them a few minutes. They're going to find out. And then one of the nurses took out her phone and she gave me a number. I called them and I got them. Another issue again. If you don't have money, when your family member or you go in the hospital, Crapo will smoke your pipe. Because I had to find $350 for my granddad to be transported from Roseau to Paybush.
But you did say you wouldn't have a problem paying. I guess it's the amount of money you pay you would have a problem with. But on my understanding of actually the citizens paying for the usage of this thing, for when there's a fire somewhere, you don't have to pay. There's no fire nowhere. What the fire ambulance doing? What are they doing? Joyriding around Dominica to look for fire? Really? They could at least, come. Well, the thing is Red Cross will come, so that's a different one. That's not necessarily government. But they should actually utilize the ambulance and the fire services or something to bring them down. They shouldn't have you paying for that $350. But then again, it's Red Cross you go to, so yeah, anyways.
Because the head nurse told me that she is not the obligation to drop my granddad home. So it's a favor they doing us. Well, I not a choice. My granddad have to go home. So at the end of the day, he has to go home. He's not renting a room there. He has to go back to his home. So we make arrangement to bring him back down. When I bring him down, so I decide, okay, you know what? I'm going to freshen him up, make him comfortable. Upon going to change his pampers, one massive bed sore in his back, lower back. They're not checking him properly. He have one on his right hip and two on his right leg. Because that is where he felt more comfortable, because the abscess was in his left shoulder, so he was more on his right side, which they never turned him, they never tried to make him comfortable. So
well, I get my answer. They don't have the proper bedding to prevent bed sores. They don't have it. But first world though, first class though. All right, McIntyre, we hear you.
Would not be too much on his right side. So I myself find that funny. I myself get vexed. I got really mad because I'm wondering, where did he get that bed sore? So even if he get the bed sore, my God, inform us that he have a bed sore. He didn't come to the hospital with no bed sore. If I knew he had the bed sore, I would not take him down. We would have to stay up there for them to cure the bed sore before they send him down.
That's probably why they wanted you to take him. Because they knew and they checking that's too much work for them. We don't get paid enough for this. Even though they probably getting the highest sweet salaries, maybe. But they checking that's not their business. So bring him, go, and then you'll see, and then you'll take care of him yourself, Even though it's there, you get it in the hospital, you get it, So man going to hospital and getting worse, and then getting discharged. Yeah.
Because he didn't go up there with no bed sore. Or he already cannot sit down and cannot walk. No, I'll give him something else. Anyway, he was already home, so I had no choice than to leave him there and try my best to take.
So let me get this straight. So the thing on his shoulder never cure. It never cure. He go hospital, he get bed sores, and he couldn't walk again. He couldn't sit up, he couldn't walk. McIntyre, you have good head, McIntyre. McIntyre, really, McIntyre? My McIntyre boy.
Care of the bed.
Boy, hell have no fury, boy.
So that's what we're doing. I have a choice. No, not only that. While he was up there, they changed his doctor. No information, no communication. The previous doctor was so good. She will communicate with me. She will tell me about his progress. She will let me know what's happening.
That's why I don't believe Peter should pay for Paul in that regard, because there are some doctors that are really good up there. It's just that they are dealt with horrible cards, horrible equipments. But it's a first world, first world hospital. Yes, McIntyre.
Second doctor, Dr. Lee.
Yes.
Dr. Lee.
Call name.
I've never spoken to her. Never. Good afternoon. All for private ambulance services to be transported, but renting a room, but turn him. They never try to make him so before they send him down.
So I
try
guess,
my best,
guys. I guess that is it. Dr. Lee, remember Dr. Lee. Stay far from Dr. Lee, okay, guys? Stay far from Dr. Lee. Anyways, guys, since this is pretty much all I have right there. I don't know where this thing is. I didn't even know that was not the full thing, but you guys get the point already. McIntyre, organize it now for us. The first world hospital that can compare to first world nations. Organize it now, man. Get in bed, sorry. Oh, okay. Alright then, guys. What are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below, guys. And it's just unfortunate, man. It's just unfortunate that, you know, people have this same sentiment. People from overseas who come down to see how their family is doing in the hospital, you know, they are not able to fathom the kind of healthcare that Dominica is priding itself in. And it's not interesting that Dominica is known as a nature island of the Caribbean. The nature isle of the Caribbean. Shouldn't we utilize natural remedies? Shouldn't that be our focal point, brothers and sisters? Shouldn't that be our focal point? Huh? Maybe, yes. I know the older folks used to know all kinds of things to do. I mean, there was one particular individual I know in the hospital tried all their best that they could. And there was an individual who from the northern area who told a particular person of that family member to do something, gave them some sort of herbal treatment and whatnot. And in about 2 or 3 days times of applying that in the very hospital, brothers and sisters, in the hospital, the person was well. So brothers and sisters, sometimes we maybe have to look into the herbal remedies. When we have nice looking buildings, but our healthcare system is worse than it was 25 years ago, brothers and sisters, I think we need to try utilizing herbal remedies. That's one of the things that I try to do my best is when I see different information, I try to put it out there so that individuals can actually see. With that said, brothers and sisters, I think I have one. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, guys, I just got one. This is I think I probably shared this already, but just to reiterate it again, if you haven't seen this, guys, check this out.
Of sugar that exists. 3 types of natural sugars that exist. The first type of sugar we have is galactose. Galactose is the sugar that's inside of your breast milk. All the goddesses out there, when you give your baby your breast, all that milk coming out, galactose. Then the other kind of sugar is called glucose.
I'm sure you guys are familiar with glucose. I guess galactose is what that has all the nutrients and stuff that the baby needs. Glucose is what normal people tend to need.
Is inside of vegetable. Now the third type of sugar is called fructose. Fructose is inside of fruits. Fructose coming out of this orange right now. So the difference between
By the way, guys, I just found out that fruits can actually feed cancer cells. So if there's some sort of cancer that is, elevating in your body or something like that, it is recommended that you stay away from fruits for 6 weeks, because the cancer cells tend to eat much faster than the cells themselves. I think 7 to 8 times faster than the cancer cells, than the normal cells. So they tend to take a lot of foods, sugars. This is why they tend to grow faster than the normal cells. So if you start these cancer cells from sugars, or if you start them from processed sugars, they will then revert to the natural sugars that the human body does normally take, and that is the fructose itself. And this is why there's a recommendation that goes out and say, if you have this, you need to stay away from fruits for 6 weeks, they say. So yeah, if you know the person I got this information from was Barbara. She's a natural herbalist and tends to heal a number of persons. She's like the modern day Dr. Sebi.
And fructose does not need your pancreas to produce any insulin.
Let me bring that back. So you need to understand something rather interesting right there. Take a listen.
Fructose is inside of fruits. Fructose coming out of this orange right now. So the difference between glucose and fructose does not need your pancreas to produce any insulin. When you consume glucose, your pancreas have to produce the insulin. It sends the insulin out into the bloodstream. The insulin allow your cells to open up and utilize the glucose for energy. So only when you consume glucose do you need the pancreas to produce insulin. Now, what happened when you eat fruits? Fructose. It's not glucose anymore. This is fructose, right? This part of your intestines, the upper digestive tract. Actually, hold on. Let me get a diagram for you. See right here? It's called the duodenum. Inside of the duodenum, via cellular infusion, fructose is absorbed from the upper digestive tract, meaning that it bypasses the pancreas. Are we clear? No, you cannot eat too much fruits. Too much fruits cannot give you diabetes. That's impossible because fruit sugar does not need your pancreas to produce any insulin.
Interesting stuff, brothers and sisters. This is why when people who have diabetes, some people tend to take an injection of insulin because their pancreas, I guess, cannot produce the insulin that is needed for the glucose, brothers and sisters. But if you're using fructose, then it bypasses your pancreas. But you still have to be, careful. I'm just passing on information, brothers and sisters. All right. Anyways, we've all had it right there. I think we need to really focus on becoming more natural people if we consider ourselves to be nature island people. If not, we just saying it for because it sounds nice. Hey, I'm from the nature island of the Caribbean because we don't want people to say we're from Dominica Republic. Dominica Republic, not nature island of the Caribbean, no? So we say we nature island of the Caribbean. Like we need to not just say, brothers and sisters, leave it, brothers and sisters, leave it, man. The human body is a very interesting thing. I notice in the nature island of the Caribbean, a lot of people wearing shoes. It's nice to wear shoes because they look nice, brothers and sisters, but you're depleting yourself from getting grounded on Mother Earth. This is why sometimes you need to actually go outside and walk without shoes. They say, oh, you'll get warm in your foot. Foolish! Stop that stupidness. Sometimes you need to walk barefoot for about at least 30 minutes per week at least. Walk without shoes. You go in the garden, walk without shoes. If you're feeling a worm going in your foot, well, take out your foot. You're not feeling that. No worm will go in your foot, brothers and sisters. It's called grounding. That is literally a scientific thing that was proven. When other scientists were out there saying that's not true. And it was literally proven by a scientist, and now they're adopting that method. Brothers and sisters, all you need to know that. All you need nature, all you know them kind of thing there. Walk without shoes. Come on, man. And not walk without shoes on concrete. I'm talking about the soil. I think clay soil is the best soil to walk on. Just chill. Go outside, pull a chair and sit down. Put your foot on the ground and pull up and read a book. Get something. Read the Bible, man. Of course. The Bible has some remedies when it comes down to the herbs. But anyways, guys, if you want to study ready, let me know your thoughts in the comment box below, guys. This is pretty much all about for this here reaction vibrations on Brbptv. Guys, give this video a thumbs up. And of course, subscribe and turn on that post notification so you can be notified when I drop all my videos right there and then, brothers and sisters. Magic one. We on Disney channel right there. Anyways, brothers and sisters, like I said before, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe so you can get notified when I drop all my videos right there and then. And definitely, guys, check out the previous one that I did in the first comment in the comment box below, as well as the previous reaction for Brbptv. So with that, what did I say? With that said, brothers and sisters, I'll see you guys in the next one. Be real. Be positive.